What is good, Neo family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I'm going to be talking about the one and only Neo stock and what you should be anticipating for the future of this company. I'm also going to talk about what's going on with the overall stock market and what Jerome Powell just said that could definitely affect the market going forward. I'm also going to talk about the latest pieces of news affecting Neo and what Neo put on their Twitter page that still makes me very bullish for the future of this company, even if we are a little bit red right now. Now, before I get into any more details and talk about what's going on with Neo stock, what is happening to the share price, I do have to mention some very important things first. The first thing is I'm not a financial planner, so please do not take this as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire Neo community as a whole. And the last thing is, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link down below and in the description. If you do sign up for Moomoo and deposit $100, you're not only going to qualify for up to 5 free stocks, each worth up to $3,500, but you're also going to have the opportunity to use Moomoo's amazing trading app, as it will give you access to the Hong Kong exchange, which can allow you to trade Neo from there. So with that out of the way, guys, let's get on with the video. So looking at Neo, we're currently down about 0.46% for the day. Now, even though Neo is a little bit in the red, I'm still very bullish for its future. But for the short term, it is looking a little bit bearish right now. So we want to talk about some of the important things involving this company. Now, we did have a slight gap fill, a tiny little level that we had to kind of fill from right over here around the $21 range. We ended up filling that quite well. And now Neo is looking pretty good, actually. So going into the future, we are starting to ascend on the very low point we were at around 18 bucks. But here's the thing. We did see this thing drop for quite a bit of time, and it is starting to show signs of strength. So looking at the one-day chart, as you guys could see, Neo jumped pretty darn hard to $20.46 after filling the gap, then started running up after that, and it did start off at around 22, so it did seem to drop a little bit too hard, and we could potentially see it actually rise right back up to the resistance at 22.87. So I wouldn't be surprised if that ended up happening, but based off technical analysis, I do have to talk about some important things. So looking at the market, I mean, the SPY was a little bit in the green. So was the Nasdaq. I think it's looking pretty good. But the thing you have to remember is the fact that, look, Neo is kind of caught in between some very, very, very tense moments going on with Russian bonds and other things like that. So there are capricious things that are kind of pushing it down, even though the company did nothing wrong. So I want to talk about what is going to play out. I also want to talk about what Powell just said, because this could affect the market. So right now, the fear and greed index is at 25. This is an indicator that there is still lots of uncertainty associated with Ukraine and the whole situations. So as a result, Jerome Powell, this is what he looks like. He is the chairman of the Fed. He ended up stating some very important things when it comes to policy changes. So he came in front of Congress, I believe it was today, and he ended up talking about the fact that he does want to adjust his policies at least somewhat. So he's not going to be as hawkish as some people would have thought initially. He may be a little bit on the dovish side, but he still does have these policies that could affect the market. He's probably going to raise interest rates, in my opinion, by around 25 basis points. I also think that he does not want to rug pull the entire market. He's not going to try to crash it. He's going to try to remain as careful as possible, right? He also stated that the changes that he's going to be making are going to resemble the start of this century, not what happened after 2008. So that's an indication that, look, when March comes, there's going to be a rate hike. Then 6, 7 weeks later, another one, another one, and it's just going to keep going like that for another year or so. And that to me is not bad news, because right now, especially these small to mid caps, they've been hammered over the last couple of months, right? And when it comes to Neo, I think that it's already adjusted for at least 5 of these rate hikes. I mean, it doesn't look too bad now. So what I anticipate is Neo still has a gap right here, right, between 26 and 27. So eventually we got to fill that gap, guys. Now we're not there yet, but in the future, maybe it's going to take a couple of weeks, maybe a month or two. I see us easily going back in that range. For the short term, I think Neo already found its bottom at 1848. I think from here on out, we're going to kind of trade a little bit sideways. But I do see us running and testing resistance at 22 once again tomorrow. So that's what I would expect going into tomorrow. And let's just look at some indicators real quick before I talk about the news and what Neo put on their Twitter page. So let's zoom in right here. NEO did drop really hard. We got a flip from the 9-day moving average. I'm sorry, let me use this chart. We got a flip right here. This is the one I was talking about. The flip came right here. This is before the super trend showed the buy signal. We ended up running up after that. We also are seeing a lot of divergence for the upper and lower lines, and RSI is still at 47, so it's not doing horribly. It is still pretty, down. It's been hammered, but I think it's going to start running slowly. It's slowly going to start stair stepping its way up. I think tomorrow it's going to dip a little bit, then slowly rise, and we should be closing around the $22 range. Now, going into other pieces of news that are very important, like this one right here, it stated that, look, many big companies out there, they may have adjusted their NEO price targets at least somewhat, but some of them are still very bullish. And they do think that NEO is going to have a very good run relatively soon. Because right now they're talking about the fact that NEO software, the software that NEO is going to be developing, is going to be massive for the company. Because it's not just a car company, it's also an AI company. It's something people keep on forgetting. So going into the future, remember, on March 25th, NEO is going to have their earnings. They're going to talk about what happened year over year. And that's going to be pretty awesome, in my opinion, because I think NEO has some big surprises for us when it comes to how they did in terms of data. I do think they're going to crush their EPS. I think they're going to crush it. And they do have a pretty good balance sheet of over $3.8 billion in cash ending 2021 like that. So they're looking good. Give them time, and I do see them really, really coming up. So, looking at the other data from here, they are seeing some very, very good announcements coming up, and they do see some bullish moves for the later part of this year. Because what generally happens, especially considering it is an election cycle, like I told you, typically stocks they drop really hard in Q1, especially the small to mid caps, and they start to rise later by Q2 to Q3. I think we're in that transition right now. We found the bottom. We're going to trade sideways for many weeks, but then slowly we're going to ascend while we do it, right? Like this. So tomorrow I see 22. We might drop after that and just trade a little sideways and slowly go back to 24, then 26, and then we're going to fill the gap all the way up here. So that's a very bullish signal. The last thing I want to talk about is this right here. NEO put it on their Twitter page that look, NEO's worry free service package makes servicing your vehicle convenient and easy. NEO can come to you for any of your service needs. This is amazing customer service. I still see this as very bullish news. It makes me very excited. And like I said, guys, when they improve their customer service, they're going to improve sales. More sales means more revenue, better EPS, better, numbers for their earnings, which will improve their share price. So I'm still very bullish for the future. This is a very good buying opportunity for the long term, in my opinion. I think that this is a very, very good deal. And if you just wait it out, this company is going to show you how great it actually is. That's what I have for this one. I want to thank each and every one of you for listening and being a part of this movement and community. And I'll see you guys in the next one. NEO to the moon and peace out.